Well, good day to you. It is September the 12th. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you happen to be, because it really could be anywhere at this point, right? You know, you don't have to be sitting right in front of me to hear what I have to say now, right? I can just speak into my phone, upload it to YouTube. A person anywhere in the world can stumble across this channel, I guess, and wazing, I'm talking to you about Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom. It's quite incredible technology we got going on today. You know, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, back in the day, it was putting out flyers about talks in a library. And then maybe like 0 people would show up. You know what I mean? Now, like I say, it could be anywhere in the world. It's quite incredible. But anyway, wherever you are, I want to welcome you, of course, if you're new. I guess if you're from the Philippines, I would say mabuhay. If you're from Central South America, bienvenidos, right? If you're from France, bienvenue. So that's about the extent of my knowledge of speaking welcome in foreign languages. But if you are hearing this information, not for the first time, but for the more than the first time, well, welcome back, of course. And I always want to encourage comments. Let's just keep our comments from being trolling. Let's keep them from being disrespectful. Let's keep them on point. And if they add to the discussion, I'll comment on it. If I start to see that they're disruptive, I'll take either all of them or some of them at least down. So anyway, let's just keep it going like that. So I'm not just talking to you, Smoke Doja. I know you think everything's about you. This is a blanketed statement for everyone who comments. So, anywho, yeah. But like I said, I encourage comments. You can always post your comments, post your questions in the comment section, or you can email me at searchforsigns@mail.com. All right, now let's get on into it. Mr. Good Sleep, hope you're doing well. And if there's a Mrs. Good Sleep out there, hope she's doing well as well. And you guys are getting good sleep. I love good sleep too, I'm not going to lie. But you wrote, great video, thanks. I was thinking Eckhart Tolle must be a master. He seems like a great teacher to me. And thank you for your comment. I will say, just because he's a great teacher doesn't make him a master per se. And I doubt, even if you asked Eckhart Tolle about the masters, if he would even know about the masters, I guess. But if he did, you know, I doubt he would even say he was a master. So I know people have said they thought that Sadhguru was a master, or even Maitreya himself. You know, Sadhguru is not a master either, and I've learned a lot from him too, and I think he's a wonderful teacher as well. I know he has his detractors, but I try to see the best in everybody, so I found things that I could learn from him as well, just like with Eckhart Tolle. Hopefully, let me just say something that might clarify it. Okay, so Maitreya at this moment in time is the only master who is out in the public eye. And he is using a very common Middle Eastern name according to Ben's master. And he's not recognized pretty much as anything other than just an ordinary person. But none of the other masters are, who some of them are out in modern cities and so forth, like London, and apart from Maitreya, Geneva, Rome, Moscow, Darjeeling, Tokyo, New York, LA, San Francisco, Beijing, and Paris, and so forth, just to name the majority of them. I don't know if that's all of them, but anyway, wherever they happen to be, they've already entered major cities in some cases, but none of them are known in their areas as being a master or are speaking to the public in that way. There might be people who are working with them who know they're masters, but they're not saying anything about it right now because it's not their job to say anything about these masters. But in time, especially after Maitreya has declared himself and has become known as Maitreya after the day of declaration, then he'll start to introduce these masters one by one. And then we'll start to see, oh, that was the master who was Paul. That was the master who was Peter. That was the master who was Saint Germain. This is the master Joao Kuhl who wrote all the works through Alice Bailey and so forth. So, you know, that's kind of, I think, how it'll be. And then they'll either be asked by humanity to help them in certain ways. Some masters will work in the architectural field with artists in certain fields and help bring about a new renaissance in art. I'm sure some will work with musicians too, you know. Some will work in the political field with governments and so forth. Some will work just on the principle of sharing and setting that up and making sure that's running swimmingly. And then there will be teachers like Jesus who will be working with just perhaps, or not just, but majority of the time will be working with the churches and so forth in that way. Other teachers will be educators and working with the general public, and then there will be Maitreya, who will be speaking to the whole world about a wide variety of topics, whether it has to do with self-realization or with the principle of sharing or with creating peace or, of course, with helping to save the environment and offering suggestions on how to do that. That's kind of how it will work, and then as more and more humanity become masters, more and more will choose to stay and help in whatever way they help. But right now it will just be just a tiny, tiny, tiny group of them. So hopefully that helps. All right, now let's see. I'm just going to touch on this. I don't like giving this too much oxygen because I know when I address people who comment as many times as this person commented, it can tend to flare up and make it worse. But I'm going to dabble in this a little bit because I don't want to give him too much attention, which is what I think he wants. But anyway, LMAO, it is easy to make different accounts. I have multiples, so you will just waste your time. What? By taking down your comments? Okay, if you have other accounts. This is the direct definition of trolling, by the way. Having multiple accounts and so forth. And saying things that are so disruptive, you have to be taken down. So, that would pretty much confirm what I was saying. But he said, why won't you answer the question? Why is Satan standing behind Maitreya in his only pick? That's actually not his only pick. If you look at Share International, there's several pictures of him and as how he appeared. One is as a woman, as an elderly woman. Another one as a gypsy begging for money. There was a time that Maitreya was a gypsy too, playing a guitar. And these are pictures in Share International. An African American in a library in New York playing a flute. Another time he was at Benjamin Creme's lecture. That somebody snapped a photo of him, and that was Maitreya. And there was another one that I saw the video of it. I couldn't tell you the YouTube channel because they didn't want anybody going to that YouTube channel. But I saw it at a conference, and there's a picture of him in Share International as he appeared as an Afro-Cuban man in Hyde Park right before England entered the war in Iraq. And there was millions of people in Hyde Park, and they were all marching against the war and marching for peace. And of course, Tony Blair didn't listen to his constituents, and who didn't want the war, and he went ahead and did it anyway. But Maitreya and the Master Jesus were in the crowd, and one of the things that he said is, keep your eyes on the prize, and the prize is humanity. So it was quite an extraordinary and very moving video that I was lucky enough to see. But yeah, it's not his only picture. But to get back to your question, I did answer your question. Actually, I said there's nothing to do with it. It's nothing at all with it. It's just a distortion in the background of the photo. If you don't like my answer, you can believe whatever you believe. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? When I see that, I don't see what you see because I'm not looking for what you are looking for. In fact, I don't think Satan even exists. So how could he appear in a picture? But that is just my interpretation of what I see. Your perception, like I said, could be different. I'm not even saying it's wrong. You know what I mean? I know you're thinking that what I'm thinking is wrong. But anyway, hopefully that clarifies that. But I don't feel like I really need to keep answering the same question over and over again and being accused of not answering the question. So anywho, let's get on with it. Now, I want to read an article from Benjamin Creme's master entitled The Christ as Teacher. And I've read this one before, but I'm sure not everybody has heard every video I've ever put up. And if you want to know more about this information, definitely go to the Share International website and read some of these articles by Benjamin Creme's master. They're quite astounding. So when I read them, I know I cheapen it, and I'm sure he would even say the same thing. But this sometimes is the best we can get along with, because I know people don't have the book Master Speaks. They didn't get copies or have a subscription to Share International where you could read his articles every month. But anyway. And of course, there are no more articles coming out because Benjamin Creme passed away. So we just have to go with what we got. But what did he say about the Christ as teacher? Many people await and expect the emergence of the Christ, but hold a very distorted view of how that will affect humanity. Many await him as a spiritual magician who will cancel out their and others' shortcomings and so establish everlasting peace. Theirs is a very passive view of this vast and complex happening. For Maitreya himself, it is an opportunity to come into a dynamic interaction with humanity, to establish the principles of the divine plan and to inaugurate the era of right human relationship. This entails the active response and participation of men and women everywhere, a worldwide continuous process of change in outer structures and inner perceptions. Maitreya does not see as particularly open and fruitful those areas of the world where Christians are in the majority, nor do other major religions inspire him more hope of understanding. To be sure, in all religions are men and women who are ready to respond and to act for the benefit of all. Likewise, in every walk of life, in every country in the world, people await the signal that will summon them to action on behalf of their brothers and sisters, known and unknown. Many await the Christ as the judge, sent to chasten and punish the lawbreakers. Maitreya the Christ is a teacher, and will indeed teach men the laws of life, but a judge he never was, nor does punishment hold a place in his vocabulary. He will seek to inspire men to know themselves as souls in incarnation, traveling a journey of self-discovery together and helping each other along the way. He will affirm that competition hinders and deflects men from their path, rendering sterile each glimpse of the soul's nature. Men have strayed far from that path. Commercialization as humanity by the throat, and is squeezing every generous thought and gesture out of their lives. The souls of men can endure little more of this oppression and are crying aloud in their agony and frustration. They wonder then at the upsurge of crime and mayhem committed by the young in every land. Maitreya will acquaint men with the origin of wars and military action around the world. He will show how even the climate and weather are disaffected as a result. Men have much to learn about the effects of their actions and the need for discipline and care. The Christ comes to teach. Men free will act must respond in order to grow. The Christ, Maitreya, never uses force, even if thus we would the sooner learn. He knows that only that which is undertaken by man's free will is lawful and likely to bear fruit. Remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.